What's good, YouTube? It's Cozmoe with another tutorial. This one's on my new track, We Keep It Hot, which has a lot of ring mods and comb filters. Let's jump on in. All right, synth number one. Let's look at the main lead to this track. Let's hear it. So this patch started as Donkong's Doppleganger tutorial. I'll put a link in the description for that. Donkong probably does my favorite tutorials on YouTube. Shout out to them. The one thing that I did to make it my own, let's hear it without this comb filter. And for the record, I wasn't able to do their patch exactly. For instance, if I didn't have a certain third-party plugin, I just tried to replace it with the equivalent. So I did their tutorial as best I could. I macroed things up and automated them. Not sure if they did that. The key to it in a nutshell is a weird serum patch and then using the ring mod from Kilohertz. So basically made their patch, saved it, and then I like to make variations off of the tutorials. And the main thing that I added was Ahee's comb filter, this robot maker. Let's hear without it. It's just a really quick delay making a comb filter, and then he's got like an OTT in there. I'm not going to get into it all. I'll put a link to Ahee stuff too if you want to go grab that. But you can tune up the comb filter right here. So I usually like to tune it to, you know, maybe the root of the song or whatever I'm trying to do. Cutting out a little lows, automating the lows, I guess, to let in more lows for this section, but less here. That's a big part of my mixing process too. It's just cutting out the lows wherever I can. Looks like I have a little volume automation on here too. So I'm kind of taming the sound with just volume. And that does it, yeah. So really cool sound from Donkong. In here, you know, Dimension Expander is free. If you don't have that, go get that. There is a couple third-party things in here. But again, if you don't have Valhalla Room, just replace it with Ableton's reverb and just do your best. Done a couple more things here. I've frozen and flattened the main lead so I can clean it up, cut out pops and such. Such a weird patch. I've done additional volume control. And then down here, I've got more resonation going on. So let's take off the effects here. This is on that main lead sound again. I've got Valhalla Vintage, which I'm automating to come in. So bringing in some quick reverb. Brought the decay down, but I left the size up. Then I'm adding Ableton Spectral Resonator, which is, again, like a comb filter resonator like before. So now we've got a second layer of resonation. I mean, that's a tip in itself too. With any effect, try putting two of the same kind of effect in a row, seeing if it enhances it. This one you can tune right here. Oh, so it's only hitting that last one without it. Just making it a little bit cleaner, a little buzzier, less reverby. So it gives you a slightly different effect, just for more variation so you don't get sick of that sound. Then I've got Soothe, great plugin here to tame some of these frequencies around 2K, I guess I didn't like. See, it really tames it, soothes it if you want it to, then probably cutting out annoying frequency. Here's another variation of the main lead. You can see I've got that patch frozen, just showing you how much, you know, you can get out of one sound. Just duplicate the track, change it up. Let's listen to this one. So before you reach for another whole synth, try taking your main lead and just screwing it up, because this is still based off of the main sound. And Donkong goes into that in their tutorial, how they made all the sounds in their song from their main sound. It's kind of getting real efficient with it. Here's some more variations, fading this one in that you just heard. Notice on this one, I've done the same thing, riding that low cut to get rid of every piece of unwanted noise you don't want. But you can see I change it depending on what note's being hit. So if it's a low note, I'm letting in more lows. And then here's another one that's completely screechy. And I know this sounds kind of stupid on its own, but I'm layering this with supersaw chords or basses. So I wouldn't be surprised if on this one I went and I just turned the oscillators off and just had maybe some noise in there. Definitely got the noise on. Key here is experimentation. So there's probably a number of ways to add a white noisy quality, and you just got to kind of play around with the ring mod, play around with Serum. All right, synth number 3. Here's one of those monophonic lines I was talking about that you can layer your chords with. And let's take the effects off here. Pretty bassy sound. Got the Comb Plus filter in here with a lot of resonance. So you can see the theme of this track is a lot of resonance, a lot of resonators. Here's another way to add resonance is with the resonant comb filter. It's like I automated the reverb wetness with an envelope. Little OTT, not much going on. So the main part of the sound is the comb filter, gives it a resonant vibe. Cutting out the lows. Camel Crusher, that's a free one. Whoa, got the ring mod, lots of ring mod in this track. You could probably do some of this with Ableton's ring mod. I just don't think it's gonna sound as good or just be as fun to use. But I could be wrong. Try the Ableton's ring mod if you don't have this. Looks like I automated the frequency. I don't know if that was on or not. Here's that Robot Maker comb filter from Ahee again. Cutting out some abrasiveness. I think I'm only turning it on though for that part, so I'm not even using this part. It's probably meant to accentuate certain parts of this future bass chords. So there's more variations of noisy, ring moddy, resonated, comb filtery things to just really enhance every sound. All right, synth number 2 is for your future chords using the ring mod to do the wobbling. I'll show you what I mean. Here it is. And so usually I would maybe wobble it with an auto pan or an LFO in Serum, but let's hear the sound without the ring mod. Just your normal saw chord, 2 saws, different amounts of unison copies, different octaves, a little bit of OTT, everything's pretty standard. But on this ring mod, really any ring mod, if you make the frequency so low, it basically is just volume gating. You can see I'm automating the rectify and the frequency. Gotta play with it. But it's kind of a cool way to, just a different way of giving you that kind of volume wobbling automation vibe. And then I'm definitely gonna be layering my future chords. Here's one up an octave. A couple of monophonic lines. So, you know, duplicate your chords and then just take one of the notes and distort it more, do something to it to change the sound. Here's a bassy one. Here's another one. I bet I have audio samples layered in there too. There's a bass. So pretty standard for me. You know, it's not the funnest workflow, but to get a huge future bass chord stack for me, sometimes I'm layering anywhere from 2 up to 10 times, depending on how long it takes. All right, synth number 4. Here's a more mid-heavy version of the sound we just saw. So again, I'm making variations of my own patches now. And still playing around with the ring mod, turning on for certain notes, automating the off and on. Let's hear it without the ring mod. Same comb filter, just played around with the octaves, more effects, more distortion. So just a variation of the last patch. So it's kind of painstaking to tune up these comb filters and tune up these ring modulators, but I'm trying to, you know, focus in and tune these things to get the right notes. Lots of variations. Once you got a cool patch, make tons of variations. Synth number 5. Let's look at a bass sound I made. All right, so This has a more kind of simple comb filtery vibe. Let's take all the effects off. Got a saw and a weirder wavetable. No effects. Pretty simple sound. Just click through some wavetables till I guess I did do FM from A on this one. Starting with a pretty simple sound though. Again, I've got the Robot Maker comb filter. Now I've got Isotope Trash, trying to really distort the crap out of it. So I've got negative fuzz on there. I might have tweaked this, I forget. Automating the mix to turn off and on because there's like a weird sound that you hear if you don't. Just keeps going. And I've got a manipulator. I actually use a little bit of Foreman filtering. This time I'm not. I'm just using pitch to actually just tune it down. Pretty cool that you can do that, because if I change the MIDI note, that's not going to matter because the note is coming from the comb filter. So this is convenient that you can just pitch it down. Yes, you could freeze and flatten it and then pitch the audio down, but this is even quicker. You're going to lose a little audio fidelity, but we're already here making crazy sounds and layering things, so it's not a big deal if you lose a little fidelity. Mostly only going through semitones, so it's not a big deal. All right, that does it for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit subscribe, all that. Catch y'all next time.